Hi cozy friends! We are in the midst of spring. Summer's coming up real shortly and there are so many hobbies and activities that are perfect for this season, for the warmer weather, for growth, for fresh starts, for new beginnings. It's a little brighter, it's a little more playful and experimental, and I think the cozy hobbies I reserve for fall and winter time are a little more cozy, a little more homebody-ish. I love that we can bring our hobbies through different seasons and see what sparks joy for us. So let's just dive into the first cozy hobby for spring and summer. Okay, so the very first one is gardening, and if you've been watching any of my vlogs, any of my storefront content, you know that gardening has been something that I've been very excited about and kind of talking about nonstop and kind of doing nonstop. If I had any harvest at all, it would not be humble. If I even had one cucumber that I grew myself, I would be like screaming it from the rooftops. Did I show you my cucumber? You see my cucumber? But I think it is such a good cozy hobby for spring and summer for obvious reasons. I mean, you start Stardew Valley in the spring. It's the start of the planting and the getting everything in your garden started so that you can reap the benefits during, you know, summer and fall and etc. I don't know how growing seasons work. Okay, I've just started. But the last frost has left us behind and now it's time to get started planting. I found gardening to be such a nice time to literally connect with nature, like not in a woo-woo sense, not in a going outside, oh, I'm connected with nature, like literally you're putting your hands into dirt, you are eyes on the prize, eyes on the leaves. You are watching things grow and unfold. You're watching how too much water affects a plant. You're watching how too little water affects a plant. You are so tapped in and tuned into nature in a way that you just aren't normally in your day-to-day life. I think on like a deep biological level, like it feels so nice to get your hands dirty, like hands to soil. I think there's like studies on like hands touching soil being good for your brain, being good for that serotonin. And I believe it because I'll go raw hand into the soil sometimes just to feel something, just to feel the soil. It's like something rushes over me, something washes over me, and I'm like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Just the feeling of bringing something to life, like you have the sole responsibility to care for this living thing, to nurture it, foster it, pay attention to its needs, and then bring it to life. See all of that work come to fruition with like a actual tangible thing you can pick, you can pluck, you can look at, you can eat. It has just been so rewarding, and it's been such a good way to get outside in the sun every day. Y'all know me, I'm a homebody. I love to be inside. I love my inside time. And every single morning I'm prompted to first thing go outside and check on my plants. I put my little gardening Crocs on. I walk around sometimes with like a tea, and I go around and I check on everything and I make sure everything's looking good. I make sure, okay, this needs to be watered later today. And then usually on the weekends I'll reserve a little time for like full water, full care, fertilizer if needed, like mixing my compost. There's so many elements to gardening which I think can appeal to anybody, whether you're starting small or you're kind of going big. If you like this like big project, you want to dive in, you want to get chickens, you want to get ducks to keep the slugs away, you want to all of these things, you can do that, and you can kind of hyperfixate and plan things out. If you're a type A planner, there's that. Or if you're a little bit more chaotic, you're a little bit more impulsive and you just want to leap into something and try a few things here and there, there's gardening for you in that sense too. You can do like chaos gardening. You can just like spread some seeds and see what comes from it and learn through trial and error. That's what's so beautiful about gardening to me, is I kind of do a little bit of both. I like the planning aspect and I like the just throwing something at a wall and seeing what sticks. It truly can fit every personality. As long as you've got a tiny bit of patience, I think you'll love it. I think you'll love gardening. Okay, the next cozy hobby is bird watching. It truly does come for us all. It does. It started with moving to a place with more birds. And then it went, what bird is that? I wonder. And then it went, I should get a book that tells me what kind of birds those are. And then someone recommended me an app that told me which birds they were depending on their calls, and then I couldn't get off that app, and then I needed binoculars so that I could see them better, and then I said, you know what, they need a bath. they need a bird bath. I'm gonna put little rocks in it so they have a thing to stand on. And then of course, I need a solar powered little fountain within the bath so that, you know, it attracts them. And then of course I need a feeder. I need a bird feeder. And now I have a subscription to bird feed that they go through so quickly, so quickly. Now I am a bird watcher. If you are not yet, it will come for you. So here is my plea. To just get started now. Just get started now. It is the perfect hobby for spring and summer because there are just so many gosh dang birds out. They're everywhere. It's warm. They're having their babies. They're singing their songs. They're dancing around. There's this hummingbird outside in my backyard that just does the funniest little dance, and we laugh at it every single time. And we really try and like help him with his game. We're like, I think maybe you need to like back up a little bit. I think she's getting a little, you're coming on a little too strong. Like maybe less of a dip in that. That was kind of a strong dip. Maybe come in a little chiller on that dip. But we've been learning the birds dances, the birds calls, the birds mating rituals. We've been learning a lot about birds, and it's so much fun. It's another thing that like really gets you in tune with the season, similar to gardening where, I don't know, I felt like seasons would just pass me by and I would be like, okay, I only really care about fall because it's fall. Come on, it's fall. But gardening made me really cognizant of like, spring is this period, summer's this period, because this is when these seeds can be planted and when this grows. It really brings you into the flow of nature in that way. And in a similar way, bird watching kind of does too. You're like, the birds are doing this right now, but they do something different in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and they start building their nests around this time, and they start leaving little things here and there. The crows will like leave things here and there if they're picking something up from you. So fascinating. You're not just existing in the space that you're in the natural space you're in, but you're coexisting in a way. And you're really appreciating what's around you and caring in turn, like caring for them. I think I saw feeding the birds and things like that as such like a passive background activity. And now because I know so much about them and I keep an eye out for them, I'm like, these are my babies. Cue the Linda song from Bob's Burgers, like, these are my babies, my little babies, okay?
How come I feel this way? Little babies, come here.
And so feeding them and like filling their feeder, taking care of the bird bath, like watching them, giving them their space, making sure they have material for their nests, all of that, it feels like another connection point. You're like a stage mom, like, do your best, sweetie. You know, you're not asking anything from them other than just being able to sit back and appreciate them. And I think that's just such a lovely relationship to have with nature. It's a really great way also to get outside. Not that you have to, but it's a good way to get outside and just sit and like listen. Just sit and listen. It's really meditative, and it's a hobby that grows and changes wherever you go, and I think that's so fun and interesting. I love it. I love it. Our next cozy hobby is watercolor. I feel like watercolor, the style of watercolor, lends itself perfectly to spring landscapes and spring subjects, summery sun and fun and flowers. Everything about watercolor, the medium, is so flowy, fresh, and energetic. There's just a essence to it that's a little more dreamy and imaginative, like it's pulled straight out of your memory. For example, I love doing flowers in the spring and in the summer in watercolor. I love a little tulip moment, a little hydrangea, a little peony, and then also like the things you're growing in your garden. Maybe make some strawberries and some tomatoes. And if you're like, watercolor, I don't know how to watercolor, neither did I. I would honestly say I still don't really know the technical aspects of watercolor. Just do it for fun. It's another one of those hobbies. Don't go into it like I need to be perfect at it. I need to watch Skillshare classes and be the best ever and learn every single technique. Just try. Just try. That's the only way that I've grown my practice and like started having fun with it, is just like slopping on stuff. That is not a great descriptor. Truly though, just like slopping some paint and water down and seeing what happens. Just see what happens. Experiment, play, to give yourself that moment of playfulness that we don't get in life. We don't get those moments that often in life, to just experiment. Sparkling water, glistening on the horizon, a dazzling sunset, changing tonight. I think it just captures the essence of those things so well. Our next hobby is also the perfect time to tell you about our cozy partner, Rosetta Stone. Learning a language is the perfect hobby for spring and summer. Maybe you're planning a big trip later this year, or maybe you just want a new project to dive into this summer. And Rosetta Stone is the perfect starting point because they've been trusted for over 30 years. I don't know about you guys, but I grew up watching Rosetta Stone commercials in between my cartoons and wishing so badly I could just order one lesson, just one lesson. And there were CDs at the time too. Now, of course, it's a super flexible app and a desktop platform. It just fits perfectly into your life. But they have research-backed methods, which, for example, just 13 hours of study with Rosetta Stone is equivalent to a full semester of college Spanish. Because Rosetta Stone's different from other language learning tools that focus on vocabulary and memorization. It uses visual, audio, and speech tools to focus on context-based learning. So it kind of feels as natural and easy to learn as it did learning your native language. For me, you guys know I'm a multitasking girly. If I could do 2 hobbies at once, I'm a happy gal. And that's why I've been loving the flexibility of Rosetta Stone, and their audio companion lets you stream downloadable audio for your units. It's designed to reinforce vocabulary and phrases you've already learned visually, but in a format that feels like a podcast or like a language playlist. So the audio companion's repetition and natural pacing really helps you with recall and listening comprehension, which is so important when you want to feel confident actually speaking the language out loud. So I use Rosetta Stone to study Japanese because back in college I took Japanese and I fell in love with the language. So Rosetta Stone has helped me pick back up the things that I kind of forgot from college, and then adds so much more in with this immersive element where you're practicing dialogue and you're comparing your pronunciation to native speakers. And the lessons are as short as 5 minutes, so you can learn them from any time, any place, whatever. And I also love, which I feel like it's unique, I love that they have a lifetime subscription that gives you access to all of the languages for life. There's no surprise charges, there's no price increases. You just know that you have 25 languages to learn at any point in your life whenever the season's right for you. So if you want to lay out on the beach this summer and learn an entirely new language, the exclusive link in the description gives you access to a lifetime unlimited language subscription to Rosetta Stone for over 60% off. So go start your language learning hobby. Okay, the next hobby is flower arranging, and there are a couple ways to go about this. You can do flower arranging that I think most people think of, where you have a vase and then you're sticking the flowers in and you're arranging ever so carefully and da 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 da. Or you can experiment with ikebana, which is a Japanese form of flower arranging where you have this little, it's called like a flower frog, and it has these little spiked needles, it's weighted, and you carefully stick in stems and arrange it in such a way where it's mixing negative space in with the actual flower arrangement. It's definitely become somewhat of a viral thing, I think, on social media lately. Maya, my best friend and roommate, if you don't know, Maya has been getting really into it, and it's so beautiful. We just have this shallow pot and the little frog at the bottom, and Maya will kind of go around, maybe pick up some flowers from the farmer's market, from grocery stores. We'll just keep an eye out for flowers that are beautiful on their own, but then might look good together. And then we'll make this beautiful arrangement by just sticking them in carefully, going, moving around. And then we sit it on this little console table right behind our sofa, and it's beautiful. It just changes the entire mood of the room. Creating it yourself just really adds another layer to it, because you walk by every day and you're like, oh, that was made with love and intention and made with the room in mind. And I think that's so beautiful. And I also just love the ikebana style where it is a little bit more sparse, because it looks like a work of art. Like, it just looks like a sculpture. It's so beautiful. And then when you think of like floral arranging in a vase, that also just adds this cottagey feel to any space, and you can really just experiment. I think flower arranging is all about experimentation. Sometimes you're gonna be like, why did I do this? Why did I arrange them this way? But then you learn, you experiment and you learn. That's such an important part of hobbies, is being okay with experimentation not going perfectly. Learning from experimentation, being okay with the result maybe not looking like how you expected, but knowing that that result resulted in you learning something that you can take with you the next time, and then the next time will be even better. The next time will be even better. And I love that. I love that about learning something about ourselves and being patient with our process in each of these hobbies. I can't say I have a lot of tips for flower arranging, because I truly just go based off of vibes. I should get like a little guest speaker moment for Maya in here. But I think Maya would say the same thing. It's just very, how does it feel to you? Do you feel like these flowers complement each other in color, in texture? Do you feel like you have enough variation? Do you have some fluffy bits? And then do you have some longer and some shorter? Just making sure everything is cohesive, making sure everything is complementary. And if it's not, who cares? If it's not, who cares? Maybe it's just a bunch of daisies you picked from the yard and you just plop them in a vase. That's adorable, that's cute too. The next hobby is similarly related. We're bringing flowers into things, but a little more artistic, a little more on the artsy side, and that is floral arts. So floral arts is the practice of gathering a bunch of flowers, a bunch of plants, sticks, tree, bark, natural elements, and putting it together to create a work of art. So using the variation in color to create depth, to create highlights and shading, but creating some kind of work of art out of all of these natural elements. And I think this is so cool because there are a lot of hobbies that you don't need to spend a cent on, but you do have to kind of search for them. A lot of hobbies you do have to like buy something as an upfront cost. You've got to buy the paint, you've got to buy the brushes. This, you don't need a single thing. You don't need a single thing. You can go out into nature on your hike and gather all of the materials you need for your work of art. You can go into your backyard, into your front yard. You can ask a neighbor if you can snip some leaves off of their flowers, off of their roses. You can just look at the fallen ones on the ground, pick those up, use those. You can look around in shopping centers at their bushes, see maybe if they can spare a few branches, a few flowers. And you can make an entire work of art. You can make portrait art. You can make people out of the art. You can make landscapes out of the art. You can make the bush or the flower that you picked the petals from out of the petals. It's so cyclical. It's just such a beautiful way to create art out of the thing that you are trying to depict. I think it's so creative, so unique. A lot of these hobbies in the spring and summer make you notice little things about the world around you, which ultimately makes you slow down and be present in the moment. Anything that can slow us down and make us feel present, make us feel like we are experiencing life as we live it and not constantly looking towards the future, not looking towards the past. Like, we are experiencing it in the moment. Anything that can do that, I think, is so powerful. A lot of these hobbies do that. And this is yet another one. You are looking around constantly for things that can work into your piece of art. Maybe you have an almost complete work of art, but you're looking for like those last few petals, those last few branches, and you're present as you look around you, or the beginnings of your art. Maybe you're looking for inspiration for where to start. And I think that's so beautiful. Our next hobby is hiking. This may come as a shock to some of you. To others, you may be like, I don't care. I am no longer a certified walk hater. No longer a certified walk naysayer, certified walk skeptic. I've come around, and it's ever since I've moved to the suburbs, I've been like, wow, it's actually lovely to walk. I don't feel like I have to be in fight or flight, on guard mode all the time. It's lovely. I'm getting fresh air. I'm seeing the sun. I'm getting vitamin D. I feel the serotonin immediately in my brain. So I have come around to the neighborhood walk, and in turn, I have come around to a good solid hike. And it doesn't have to be a whole thing. It doesn't have to be a whole day hike, but it could be. That's your prerogative. If that's your preference, if you love a good adventure journey where you're setting out the whole day going on a hike, all the power to you. But for anyone who's like just getting curious about hikes, who's like, I don't know, start so small. Start with like a literal 15-minute out and back. Start with a 20-minute loop. You can use like running apps or hiking apps, or even just like maps will show you how long the loop is, how many miles, and you can see and know to start with the small one. Bring a friend. That's the key, is bringing a friend, because it's so much more fun when you're walking and yapping and time's flying by and you're hearing the birds and you're seeing all these beautiful hills and foliage, and you're just a part of nature. You're saying hi to everyone walking by. Hello, good morning, hello, and you're yapping. Get a little movement in, and do so in such a fun and like whimsical way with a friend. I have not in my adulthood hiked alone yet, and I don't know that I will, because it's so much more fun to just yap and walk and yap. If you are more advanced in your hiking journey, or you're like, I'm good, I want to do something a little different, I want to up the ante, there are so many beautiful hikes here in the US and elsewhere. Like, there's so many beautiful hikes to add to like your hiking bucket list. All of the national parks, just beautiful rolling hills, beautiful red rocks. There's just so much to see. And so if for you hiking is more about like the journey and more about the view, then there's so much to see. There's so much to appreciate. But if you're just in it for the yap, just hit a local trail, bring a friend, yap it up. Okay, the next hobby is scrapbooking. Scrapbooking is a perfect hobby for spring and summer because you are honoring and memorializing the memories as you make them. Sun's out, get outside. Sun is out, get outside. Okay? Get to the beach, get to the lake, get to a trail, go bring your dog to a park, go have a picnic, go, get out. I'm sorry, a little tough love, but spring, summer, be outside. Be making those memories. Be at the farmer's market. Go to festivals. Go to outdoor concerts, theater in the park. So now is the time to use those moments that you're outside making memories to then scrapbook and give yourself a little cutesy way to honor those memories. And scrapbooking does not have to be this crazy, complex thing. You can, if you want to. You can go like full pattern backgrounds and borders for your pictures and hand lettering and custom themed stickers. Like, you can go all out if you want. You can cut out backgrounds to the letters with construction paper and an X-Acto knife. Like, you can go as extreme as you want, but you can also go as simple as you want. You can just paste a photo onto a paper and write about it, and then slap some of the tickets to the musical you went to go see alongside it. It can be a mix of almost junk journaling and scrapbooking. You don't have to do traditional, fancy, complex scrapbooking. But I also think it is fun to add your own artistic element and your own artistic flair to scrapbooking. So it doesn't have to be, you know, scrapbooking of kind of what your aunts are doing. And it's like, you open the scrapbook and it's like got the doodads and trinkets and doilies. The style is kind of endearing and cute to me now, but I also think whatever artistic style draws you in and makes you feel like this is me, this is real, this is me, go for that. Don't stick to any mold or don't stick to any template you've seen just because that's what you've seen. Go with what makes sense for you, make it cute, have fun with it. Just cut out some fun pattern paper. You don't have to go get a bunch of stuff. You can just find scraps from around. You can find scraps from packages you've got or scrap mail and etc, etc, etc. Make it fun. Make it a fun thing so that you can look back in years to come and be like, I remember that spring of 2025. I remember that summer of 2026. That was so much fun. And I feel like I captured the energy of it perfectly with this cute little design. Underrated, I think, in today's day and age. The next one is oil pastel. I feel like I talk about oil pastel a lot, and I feel like it is great for any season, but similar to watercolor, and I'll keep this one brief because I truly feel like it's the same exact reasons as watercolor. I feel like it captures the energy of spring and summer so well. Like the kind of messy, thick strokes, layered, just crayon-y, thick, dense. It's just something about oil pastel is so spring and summer coated. It's also very forgiving. So I think watercolor and oil pastel are both really great for beginner artists if you're like just dipping your toes into art, or if you want to try a more stylized type of art. If you are more of a traditional artist, then I think it's really fun to just like get messy, play around, and let your guardrails down a little bit. And of course you can go as far as you want into the difficult technique-based elements of both oil pastel and watercolor. Like if you're getting technical with it, it is not easy. Like you do need to learn things, but when you're just having fun, you're just starting out, it is easy. It is fun. You can just mess around and things kind of just look pretty because of how forgiving the medium is. So I love oil pastel for the same reasons as watercolor for this season. Captures the energy well. Something that you can start off with and not have to think about it. Like you don't have to know that much to start off with it. And then slowly you're realizing like, oh, I'm kind of learning things as I go and have fun with it. Okay, the next one is fostering pets. I think I've shared this one before for summer hobbies. It's the perfect time to foster a pet because there are so many out there that need care, that need a home, that need support. What better way to offer help to animals and offer help to your community than be a foster parent? You know, there's always the opportunity of a foster fail, but that's not the end goal. That's not the end goal. The end goal is just being support for those who need it, the little animals out there who need it. If it's a cat, that's so much fun because you can run around with your cat. They can watch the birds outside. And if it's a dog, then you can get some movement in outside. You've now got an excuse, the perfect excuse to go get outside. A great time to give back to your community, to support your village locally, but also to have a little fun and to have a little friend for spring and summer. Okay, the next one is sports. And you may say, what, Kennedy? You, of all people, are suggesting sports? But I'm suggesting sports for two main reasons. One, because there are so many unique sports out there that I know you haven't tried, and now is the time to try something new. Now is the time to be like, I'm suddenly into disc golf. I'm suddenly into aerial yoga. Suddenly, I'm throwing frisbees around. Like archery. There's so many unique sports out there to try that I know you haven't tried yet. It could be your new favorite thing. My second reason for suggesting sports is the community aspect of it, the communal aspect, meeting new people, building community, because there are so many adult leagues out there that are in their prime time in the spring and summer. Sun's out. People are ready to run around after work on the weekends, kick a ball together, hit a ball together, toss a ball together. Like, people are dying to get together over a sport. And so if you are a more active person and you are looking for a little community, you are like, I want to make some new friends in a new space, in a fresh space. I just want a fresh start. Look into the adult leagues in your area. Also look into some classes. I've been signing up for an absurd amount of classes lately, like painting classes and stuff. And there are always sports classes and leagues to join in those catalogs. So if your city has a little catalog to look through there. Otherwise, I would just Google your city and then adult sports leagues. I think you'll be good to go. My sport that I've done, y'all are gonna be like, what? The class I signed up for this spring is golf. I actually have a class later today. I never thought I would see the day where I would step foot on a golf course, but I have a buddy with me. Maya is my activity buddy, my hobby buddy at all times whenever I'm trying something new, and it's been so much fun. Maybe we'll never touch a golf course again, but it's so fun to just put your hands and body into a new position they've never been in before. You're also just putting yourself into new scenarios. Like, we've chatted with a few people on the course and been like, wow, we would never know this course was here, or we would have never met this person. And it's so much fun to learn the basics, but then also learn what you like, learn what you don't like, so that you can try new things with that information in mind. So with golf, it was like, we really enjoyed the driving range. Like, we were like, this is so much fun. I could do this all day. Like, I could just sit here improving my swing all day. I actually don't even really care about doing the sport of golf. Like, I'm just having fun with this. But I think that's the fun thing, because then we're learning, okay, so we like the idea of like mindful, focused repetition in a sport or in an activity, but maybe we don't like the challenge of accuracy and adding in, you know, all of the other elements and doing a more competitive dynamic in terms of the holes and all of that. Like, okay, so let's just do like some Topgolf stuff after this, or let's take that knowledge and see if there's other sports that just focus on that like mindful repetition. It teaches you things you didn't think you would ever learn about yourself, and I think that is always valuable when you're trying something new. Okay, our last hobby for spring and summer is DIY projects. It's time. It is time. All of those reels and TikToks you've been saving, and I know you have a list of like DIY projects, because I do. And if you're a hobby person, if you're a hobby hoarder like me, I know you're like, I could do this. Never picked up a hammer or saw in your life and you're like, I could do this. Now's the time. Try it out. Try it out. The thing that I've learned with DIY is starting small. Start small, because I feel like I have all of these things saved and I have all these grandiose ideas where I'm like, I'm gonna make a built-in closet, I'm gonna make a breakfast nook all by myself, and it's like, I don't even know the basics. So I will never start on those bigger projects because I am so lost on the basics that it all seems so daunting to me. So starting small is the key. I started small with this little like book holder that I made. I'm starting small with these outdoor posts. Start small. Just I'm doing a cement mix, post, stain on the post, drill into the post, drill into the stucco. That's the extent of the DIY project I'm doing, and that's okay. Start small, because you learn the basics, you learn little things, you learn what tools you need, you learn what you don't like doing and maybe you should outsource, and then the things that you're like, oh, this is way easier than I thought it was gonna be. At the end of the day, you can do it, and I know you can do it, because if I can do certain things, I know you can do certain things. If the boys can do certain things, you know we can do certain things. It's not about like, you can't do it. You can absolutely do it. Start small so that you have that belief in yourself, and then you'll dive into the more complicated projects. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep putting off the complicated projects. Trust me, trust me. But now is the time to get into it. Make those raised garden beds you've been saving. Make the little bookcase you've been wanting. Make the little bench you've been wanting. Make the garage storage you've been wanting. Make the potting bench, the greenhouse. Start small and then dream big, because now's the time. Like I said, sun's out. It's time to indulge in all of our hobbies, and DIY projects are like the base for a lot of those hobbies. You can make so many things that facilitate all of your cozy hobbies this season. Thank you for listening to me yap about cozy hobbies. You know it's my favorite thing to do. I get so excited every season to just chat hobbies with you and kind of catch up on which hobbies I've been into lately and what I've been trying out, and hearing what you guys have been trying out. So I want to hear, what have you been trying out? What are the new hobbies and activities you've been loving? What have you been loving for spring? What are you excited for summer? I want to hear all of your go-to hobbies, all of your go-to activities, anything I didn't mention, anything that you love to do or just are excited about. As always, don't put pressure on yourself. This is all for fun. Don't chase the perfectionism of it all. We're not trying to monetize, perfect, get to the highest skill level. We're just trying to have fun. So embrace that this spring and summer while the sun is out. I love you, stay cozy, bye!